Okay, Mr. E is in my ear and I can hear him. What is it that you guys wanted to ask me? And he'll tell me. Like, what do you want my commentary on?
Well, you were making a comment about what if his wife was here?
Is that how I sound?
Yeah, there was one comment from one dude where he said that all the women is evil, and these two dudes was like,
basically, yeah, someone sent a comment saying women are disgusting. This is why Adam told Eve to eat the whatever, like cancel me. I want out of this world. And I was basically like,
okay, Mr.
I just wanted the
what
response.
What are they asking?
Oh, yes, because then I said...
She can't hear you.
I'm just listening on the stream.
She has to get it relayed to
Hang on,
her.
Mr. E is going to tell her.
I think they were just trying to get a comment from you so you could say something to the girls.
Oh, gosh.
Okay, did they hear me ask what? I don't know what they want me to comment on specifically.
Yeah.
The body count thing? Or?
It's Bug Boys.
All right.
It's Bug Boys.
It's Bugged Boys. It's Bugged.
It's
all right.
Bugged Boys. Send in the super chats because it's Bug Boys. All right, so
We tried.
Yeah, we tried.
We tried. It's difficult. There's a delay. It's difficult. Okay, so all right. Okay, don't disagree. I don't agree with what Mike Davis says here. I do. He sent in $200. I'm gonna thank the guy. I'm gonna thank him, even if I disagree with what he has to say. And then also, and Andrew, I think, was pointing out, don't women say shit like this all the time?
yeah, that what
Men
they
are
tried to-
trash.
yes.
We don't need men. I'd rather question. Would you rather be alone, or would you rather come across in the forest a man or a bear?
man?
Which do you pick?
A bear.
Ah,
And yes,
so
I get
you're
that.
a misandrist. You're a man hater.
I'm not a man hater.
Let
I
me
just
tell
think
you
I
why.
trust-
Because let me ask. You think there's your risk assessment here is that you're going to get essayed by men to the point where you would rather be in the forest with a wild bear than with a man. Is that correct? Is that fair?
Sure.
Okay. So what percentage of men do you think in this situation would choose to victimize you? What percentage of men?
What do you mean?
Okay, in this hypothetical, you choose bear over man, right? So your risk assessment would seem to indicate that you think a high percentage of men.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So what percentage of men would victimize you?
I'm not sure I can come up with the percentage because
Take a guess.
Well, let me just say first, my reason for coming to this conclusion of a bear is because when I first think of, I guess risk assessment, I would rather take my chances with...
Well, I can run I actually have an experiment for this.
Wait, but let me
ahead.
just...
No,
okay.
I want to hear this.
Hold on. No. Let's finish this really quick. Okay. What percentage of men do you think would victimize you in this scenario?
I know the answer.
Oh, there's like a statistical answer?
No, it's 50-50 always.
Oh my...
Why
don't we let her answer?
40%.
Okay, so knowing that the adult male the male population of the United States is something like, I think, 160 million, 40%, what would that be? That would be not quite 80 million men. Let's say it's 70.
Let me change that.
So you think 70
30%.
million? You think 70 million men in the United States would choose to?
No, because I changed it to 30%.
I still find this incredibly objectionable. Incredibly objectionable, because there's currently 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 men. Sorry, my math's terrible. In the studio. Okay, so 2 of the men in the studio are. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying they're. I'm just saying I'd probably rather be in a forest with a bear than men that I don't know or trust because I could end up getting. I mean, it's even like a conversation. Sometimes I just don't.
Have you ever had a one-night stand?
Yes.
How many one-night stands have you had?
1.
Interesting how that works.
What do you mean by that?
Well, I mean, you were alone with a man.
Yeah, I'm not saying
you just met.
I'm not saying I'm okay with that or that it was a great decision. I regret it.
Right, but it was consensual,
Yeah.
right? Okay. It's just interesting. Women will like hook up with the dudes, meet up with them, no issues. You pass by hundreds, if not thousands of men all the time. None of them do anything to you. But you have this bias against men. That's interesting.
I don't have a bias
It's
against
absolutely.
men.
Hold on. How is it not a bias where you think 30% of men, and you originally said 40, you think 30% of men are inclined to violence or sexual assault towards you?
Yeah.
Living_, donated $200.
That's a bias.
Big old Brian, oh it'll work Andrew. Proceeds to be the worst moment in technology history. Someone spike his drink with Ozempic. Andrew just wins debates, BC he's hot.
Yeah, okay,
I dispense Ozempic if you need it.
Yeah, they're laughing back there.
Oh, there's another one coming through. We have another one coming through. Living, thank you, man, for the TTS. Appreciate
thanks,
it.
Living.
We'll come back to it here in just a sec, but Noah has one coming in. Thank you, Noah. Appreciate it.
Noah donated $200. Women says that she hates men. You go girl. Slay queen. Man says he hates women, and everyone loses their minds.
Can I
Seems like Schrodinger's
Sure, go ahead.
feminist to me.
We should to love each other.
Hold on.
I would
Let
like
her
to
speak.
separate the bear versus man argument with my dislike towards his comment, because I'm not coming from a place of like all men, like I hate all men, because that's not how I feel. I think a lot of men are great and awesome, but I also think that that's a totally different comment to make, to say,
Wait,
like,
you think all men are inclined to violence, murder, and SA?
No. Not all men. I
Okay,
just think
excuse me.
more men than more
40%
more
of men.
men than women. I would take my chances
it's
more.
enough. But
What?
it's
More men than a
enough.
bear.
Hold on. But even though the percentage chance of you being with a man who wouldn't do these things is greater, it's enough men
Yeah.
that you would rather take a path that lands you in a forest not with a man. Mike Davis said, I've tried to see the good side of women, but I'm done with these disgusting creatures, right? And he says, keep females away from me. Isn't this just sort of essentially the mirror of what you're saying by picking the bear?
No,
It
I'm not
absolutely
saying fuck all
is.
men.
Yes.
It absolutely is.
Yes.
All right, then sure, he's valid in his comment. Great. I think what he said was awesome, and I do think.
Why aren't any of the
disgusting
ladies
evil creatures.
disavowing your statement?
What do you mean?
You think 30% of men would be inclined to violence towards you?
I don't know the statistics. That's just how I feel.
That's
I feel
how.
like a lot
Yes,
of-
that's how you feel.
Okay.
It's
so
still an objectionable thing.
How many men are in prison because of SA?
A lot.
How many
what?
though?
A lot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The better
So
question
what
is
percentage
why
of men
she's
are in
here.
I think-
Oh, it's a very low percentage.
My thing is, I think more men are worse than more women, but that does not make the
Whoa,
majority of men.
that's a
but
sexist
that does
statement.
not make.
Oh, wait,
Not worse.
men-
I think less. You're taking.
You're saying there's more worse men than there
There's
are worse women.
More men have done SA, have done murders, have done compared to women. It's statistically proven. I don't know the statistics off the top of my head, but that does not mean that I think that the majority of men are evil,
isn't this an
disgusting
apex?
creatures.
This is an apex fallacy. First of all, criminality is a very, very small proportion of the
Of the people that
population.
actually do wrong,
So to
right.
say that I'm going to have this sort of blanket assessment of men due to a small proportion of some men's criminality, you're attributing to the group the actions of a small fraction.
This would be the same argument towards racism. So that would be the same
elaborate?
argument you would make in
Can you
reverse for
elaborate?
racism. Yeah, sure. So if you were to say, okay, a small percentage of the population, which happens to be this race, conducts X amount of crimes, you would immediately look for ulterior reasons why they were criminals absent the race, right?
Okay. I
But
see.
how come you won't do that when it comes to men, right?
Okay. No, that's a good argument.
Yeah, wouldn't that be this? It's the same thing in reverse, isn't it?
Think on that one too. You're coming back with some good arguments, I'll say.
It's so sad that you feel scared by 30% of the men. This is so sad. And actually the better question is like why the young woman feels like that? Why she scares of the 30% of the men?
Because they've been
in the planet?
indoctrinated and brainwashed.
Sure.
Or maybe
Because
it's
we've
happened
been-
before in the
Yeah,
past.
maybe it's happened.
Like personally,
To you?
like
Yes.
yeah, family.
This is a good question, you
Yeah,
know,
but if-
guys.
if
we
you
don't
had-
want to be scared of you.
Even
We
if
don't
it,
want.
own
even
parents.
even if it were to have happened to everybody here
We
at
want
the
to
table,
love each other.
Hang on. Even if it were to have happened to everybody at this table, that every woman here was in some way assaulted by a man in a sexual way, and none of the men here were ever sexually assaulted by a woman in any way, that would mean nothing.
How?
That we would
That's
not be.
just coincidence.
We
that,
would not be able to.
Oh.
How would you ever extrapolate that into anything?
So it's
from
just
this
coincidence
setting?
that if all the women here were SA, that they were just happened to be here at the same time, and all of the
anecdotal.
men that hadn't were here as well.
Well, I mean, okay.
Because
Well, let's
we are
let's
hot.
think about it for a second, right? There's more women here than there are men, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Why is that? Is there a reason for it?
Because you want to argue with us.
Well,
so that men in the comments can say we're disgusting.
Whatever the reason is, right? There's definitely reasons behind why that is the case, right?
So you're saying if all of us were essayed, we're
like you wouldn't
here
just say you're
because-
all here coincidentally, and I wouldn't just say all the men are here coincidentally.
So
like
we're
there
here
was
because
mechanisms.
we're delusional is
well,
what you're
there's
saying.
no. I'm saying there's mechanisms which moved us all into place, right?
But what does that have
And
to
so
do
the
with
question is like even if all of this had happened, right? It doesn't give us a tell as to the mechanism for why it happened. Right? Could be with this particular sample size, for instance, that because you're all around the same age group, you're more prone and in a propensity to be in situations where such a thing does happen. Whereas we could get the same exact group of women from a different demographic.
Yeah, he speaks
then they
about
have,
our job.
and they have absolutely none of those things, right? So you can't really just kind of say, well, even if it had happened to everybody here, that we could extrapolate that out to mean something meaningful.
It's because we are beautiful and because we are whores. Yeah, that's
No, I'm not.
probably.
I'm not. I'm not.
I mean, like,
But something
Poor
you're not talking
attitude.
about is that men are essayed by women too, and there's a very high percentage of that.
Yes, there is.
So like when we're
far more than
generalizing-
is ever talked about. Yeah.
Like if we're generalizing each gender and just saying, basically you guys are saying women have it worse. Like that is what I'm hearing. And yeah, women have it bad, but so do men. And men are more likely to, you know, because that things aren't spoken about, and it is so highly, it happens so much with men, and it's just not spoken about. And it's just passed over like it's nothing.
Well, that's certainly a fair point. But did you get an answer on this, or?
Well, no, not really. I was just saying. So, but this just from my brain, right? Is like, if you say, well, could this all just be coincidence that all of us here? That yeah, it could, right? Because there's going to be mechanisms which drive things, and so that's why when we do sample sizes, you pull them from different demographics, different backgrounds, different. You know what I mean? That way you can draw commonalities, so that you can extract data correctly. Like just a few women sitting at a table who say, this is my experience, even if all the experiences map up, it doesn't actually tell us anything.
I do want to ask a question.
How could it?
How
You could agree that I could set out that even if this bad thing had happened to every single woman here, that we could take a completely different, even random sample size from the street and put the same exact women here, and it's more than possible that nothing ever happened to any of them.
I wouldn't say
Yeah,
it's
of
more than
course.
possible.
Yeah, it's not?
I
yes,
wouldn't
it's
say
possible.
it's more than possible.
Why?
I mean, I don't know. It's just.
Why is it not more? Why? I'm sorry. What in the world would make that not possible?
Can I like get
possible.
my phone and do a fact check? Because I've seen somewhere a statistic that says like it's over half of women that have been essayed or whatever. By
Even if that's true, let's say it was 90%. You could still draw randomly from the street, get a same
Right.
9 sample, and still not one of those women had ever been essayed.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
So we can't. So that's why I'm saying you can't draw like kind of those conclusions when you say, "Is that just a coincidence?" Well, yeah, it could be. It could literally just be a coincidence, of course.
Okay.
You can have fears
I
from
don't know.
personal
Wait.
experience. She wasn't arguing that.
I do
No,
think,
she was. She said, "Is that just a coincidence?"
I don't
What's that?
think.
Is that just a? What does that mean? What is that just a
See,
coincidence?
like, you're nitpicking on little words.
No, it's not a nitpick.
Well-
Yes.
How is it a nitpick?
She just said like that and you just catch it so.
Yeah, you catch that one thing.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
that bastard!
Yeah,
Like,
there's
do
much,
you-
much
hold
more
on. Do you
interesting,
realize that
and you catch this.
people's thought patterns, the way that they think, and the way that they discuss things,
Yeah.
they hinge on pillars, and pillars are usually assumptions, right? They hinge on assumptions. So yes, I lock in on the hinge, the pillar that holds the idea up.
Wait. I'm sorry.
you?
I have to interrupt this. I don't like to let certain things just slide. What was the stat that you just quoted?
Well, I asked if I could pull it up. I don't have that.
But
off the
you
top of my
think
head.
you said you think it's over 50% of women.
You can't-
I think I know
been-
the stat she's referring to. It's like at colleges they say over 50% of women
Well,
have
no,
been
why don't
sexually
we have
assaulted.
her-
But then when you look into it, it's like
Why don't you tell us what you heard?
I told you I don't have it off the top of my head. I'd have to
What do
look
you-
it up. But it's
what do you
something
think
about
it
like
is?
half or more than half of women
Have been what?
essayed or
What? So when you say essay, what does that include?
anything unconsensual that is where they've been touched without that.
So if a man
wanting
were to tap-
What do you mean? What is that?
If a man were to tap a woman on the shoulder, is that essay?
No.
It's
Not
unconsensual.
sexual.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's
Well,
Yeah, like
do you know about
there's a
sexual
difference.
touching?
I have a question.
Sexual touching without consent,
Yes.
and much of that can be perception.
it could be harassment. it
Well,
could be
hang on, but much of that could be perception. So, like, let me give you an example. If a guy's sitting at a party, he's drinking, a woman walks over and just like randomly starts rubbing his shoulders, right? I've seen this many times. Nobody says shit, right? However, that's definitely sexual touching. He definitely hasn't consented to it. It's just nobody gives a shit. Let's switch it. Woman sitting at a party, right? Doesn't know the guy. He walks over and just starts rubbing her shoulders. Do you think that would become problematic?
I think it's odd, but I personally, if some guy did that to me, I'd just be like, what? Like, I don't know. To me, that wouldn't
But
be
if
like
a woman,
scarring.
sure. But if a woman said, "Okay, wait a second, that was sexual touching without my consent," would you agree with her?
I wouldn't agree with her, but I wouldn't look her in the face and say.
You wouldn't say no, right? You wouldn't
would.
say no. And so that's the distinction that's being talked about here is that, wait a second, the reason we clarify these terms and we want them specific is because it's very clear to me that when women in an unwanted way touch men, just nobody gives a shit. They just don't care.
No, I
and the
agree with you. I
assumption-
think
yeah,
that
yeah.
I'm not trying to minimize the amount of SA that men experience. Like,
yeah, right. But this way the classification matters because I'm not sure I would consider that SA, right?
No, I mean, I agree with you.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
Just saying, not trying to minimize.
But you realize
what
how
men feel
many
with that.
of these kind of like tortured studies and stats that you would look at where the assumption of SA is that they would consider those categories even though they maybe don't belong there.
Even worse, like wolf whistling is in some
And if
cases
I
counted
will
as well.
touch you now when we will go to smoke cigarettes, this is called as ACE or
You realize so when you went back there to smoke a cigarette, did you note that I took a wide path, went all the way around you, never went anywhere near you, and came in just to avoid such a thing from even happening?
No, I didn't say.
I know you don't have to worry about it. That's the difference.
I love it. You watch your back, bro.
You don't have
I'm gonna go
to.
smoke a cigarette.
You don't have to worry about it.
No,
But
that was just
guess
a-
what? But guess what?
We will call it as a
but we-
sexual
hang on,
assessment. It's
But we
called or
do.
no?
We do. We do have to worry about it.
Will it's called as sexual assessment or no?
I mean, who knows? But because
How
the
strong they will touch?
because the criteria is so gray, it's not really known to me or clear to me what could be considered assault or
Living underscore donated $200.
What?
Holy crap. I've technically been essayed several times in my life
you
by
probably
women.
have.
I don't report any of them. Society doesn't notice casual women essaying. Also, bear versus black man, or black man versus white man.
I'm more scared of a white man.
I love white man.
Why would you be more scared of a white
So
man?
now, not only are you sexist, but you're also racist.
Yeah. Just instant by category. But you see what I mean when I say, like, it's not, when you ask the question to me, it's not altogether clear without very specific criteria as to what that could even mean, because I think that, yes, I could be brought up on charges for potentially brushing up against a woman, even without having any untoward anything towards her. I just happened to not think twice. I was just walking by, brushed up against her. Do I think it's within the realm of possibility? I do. And that's the part men always have to think about. That seems like women, as they think that men are hyper, right? Now the distance has the gap has grown and grown and grown.
You know why
because-
it's growing?
Yeah, it's not your turn. Hang on. So this is why, right? Now that we have to think about that all the time, you see this distance and this gap widen. And it's specifically because if you look at it like the example I gave with the shoulder rubbing, right? You're like, yeah, no, that's really not SA. But if she said it was, you're like, I wouldn't tell her no. And so that's why it's not altogether clear to me. It really
Also,
isn't.
we had a girl on the show. I think you were on this panel, Andrew.
Well, I had a girl on a show take off her, clothes
Well,
and
no.
like to assault me with her. Yeah, so
Well,
whatever.
That's not what I was going to talk about. But there was a girl who was. We were having this conversation, and she said there was a study done here at the local university, and that it included catcalling that fell within the purview of SA.
Yeah, I was on that show, I think.
Or were you on that show?
Yeah.
So I find these studies that they do, it includes all sorts of things, all the way from some, benign or mild harassment, all the way to like forcible violence. And I find like encapsulating all of those things into this sort of nebulous term SA is not particularly helpful.
It inflates the numbers.
I agree. I'm not
On
disagreeing with
purpose.
you.
Right, but like when we're having this conversation, and it's I suppose some sort of framing where you're saying like the listener is going to interpret over 50% of women are at like full blown forcibly they're walking down a staircase somewhere, some random man just starts beating them up and like.
Well, that's not what I said.
Okay. Well, I'm just curious, and I don't know if this is a bit inappropriate of a question, but I think you were saying like, I bet every single woman here at this table has been essayed.
I didn't say that.
You said you were though, right?
Right.
Okay. So, I'm just curious. I'm not going to ask the details. Who here has been essayed? Okay. Wait, sorry. Just show of hands again. Oh, it's a. You're wondering.
How
oh
many
my God.
times?
This is. Hold on. Oh, that's crazy.
Well, no.
bro.
Here's the thing. You can't use that as an argument because a lot of women feel not validated in what it is.
That's right. They feel.
Wait, I do have a follow-up question.
They feel. It's not
I
proven.
I do have a follow-up question.
Some of them
Hold
feel
on.
not.
Allow me to do
She
the
said
follow-up
some of
question
them
first.
feel
Stop. Okay. Those of you who raised your hand, did you go to the police?
No, couldn't.
No. Did you? Yes, you went to the police?
Does that mean it didn't
Wait,
happen?
hold on.
Is
Is this
your
the guy
argument?
who the choking thing?
There's a separate incident.
Okay. And then did you go to the police? Okay. That was it. That was my question.
And so you're saying because we didn't go to the police?
No, I'm not saying anything. I don't know what happened
What
or
is
what
that
didn't.
proving?
Well,
I
so
just-
A lot of men don't go to
And
the
did you
police.
go to the
yeah.
police?
So I'll tell you the term, right? No, they would laugh me out of the building. Right? They'd laugh me out of the building, even though it was clear on video.
So they
They
don't
would
take
laugh
men
me.
seriously
They would
at
laugh
all.
me out of the building. It's not even an option for us. But the thing is like,
Right.
so to kind of dive into this, all Brian's trying to say is like, if you have this kind of hyperinflated number, which would include things like catcalling or things which clearly are not
be
sexual
separate.
assault, right? These should be in kind of totally different categories, and the
agree.
reason they're put into the same is to inflate the number, thus making men look far more than they actually are. So if that is the case, then, and you can even see like kind of with your raw feminism that pops out really
I
quick.
wouldn't say I have a raw.
Well, you did, and I'll explain where I saw it. I'll explain the exact moment that I saw the raw feminism. It was when when I said, yes, I feel, and you well, you're going to invalidate? Well, yeah, and here's why. You have to invalidate feelings for proof and evidence with clear criteria, because otherwise, how do we get the actual number? Right? You could I couldn't just say, do you feel like you were essayed?
Right. I mean, then in court it wouldn't hold up. But
Well,
I
it's
don't
not
think
just
that means
in
you
court.
should look someone in the face and say, well, then it didn't happen.
But it can't really hold up external to that either, because you're a number who would never make it into the stats absent court, right? Because you never went to court. So then, but you would be counted in this number. So how would we prove that? How could we falsify that other than
You can't.
You can't, right? You can't. So this is why when people say believe all women, it sounds to me like
I think that's true. No, I disagree.
yeah,
with
it
that
sounds to
statement.
me
You
like
can't.
total
Right.
absurdity, because it's like by your own metrics, you invalidate the very thing that we're supposed to believe.
Well, then do you not feel that there's a discrepancy between in the categories of what essay is, you even said like the shoulder rubbing. So do you not think there's like a kind of an equal number of the people who are counted in that statistic who weren't actually, or it wasn't as intense, or something that we wouldn't consider essay compared
Yeah.
to the number of women who aren't actually counted in that statistic?
Yeah, so this is a really difficult question, because we're talking about soft sciences. Science is only as effective as you
Right.
have controls.
Right.
And that's why hard science works really well, and why the replication crisis affects soft sciences so badly. And so without great controls, which means great criteria, we're just speculating ultimately, right? And so that's why when I hear kind of these tortured numbers thrown out of, most men could be, or most women have experienced SA and this and that, it seems to me like that's not very clear, and that the controls are not very good, and that we're mostly going off of self-reports, not
Right.
court reports.
Right.
And so, yeah, I'm just not willing to kind of concede that that's true, right?
Okay.
And I mean, you seem reasonable. I don't even think you would, right? If you find out that is indeed the case, wouldn't you kind of have to readjust your positioning and thought process around it?
Can you or specify, restate your question?
Yeah. So if you found out that, wait, there's really soft controls here, and we can't really know. We don't really know. We don't really know the answer to these questions.
Maybe then I would reconsider. Yeah.
That's all I'm asking you to do.
Yeah.
It's just reconsider the opposite possibility, that there's perhaps been a lot of brainwashing, designed specifically to be divisive, to make men look.
Why do you think they would want to make men look worse?
Well, because I think that a lot of these control studies are done by very progressive and very feminist operated universities. And I think that they're not trying to solve for a real hard scientific answer, but rather they're trying to only get at the heart of kind of the ideology that they're trying to promote. And so they'll make the data fit the ideology rather than moving the ideology around the data.
Okay.
We can believe on it.
What's that?
We can believe on it. Yeah, it sounds realistically.
I don't want to quite lay off quite yet. You said something about white men. What was the statement there? You said you would.
She's scared of the white dudes more.
You said you'd be
I
more scared
think
of white guys than
if
black
I
guys.
were given two random men, one was black and one was white, and I'm not saying that.
Say it.
Okay, I don't think you can be racist towards a white person. I will say that.
Oh boy. Okay. But so you would prefer what?
A black man over a white man.
To be
Like in the same room with,
in the
to
same
trust,
room
to
with.
be in the forest. Oh, you're agreeing with me?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you were going to disagree. I was
Oh,
getting
no, I'm
scared.
agree, of course.
Okay. Wait. So hold on.
Because they harmless.
Here, let's explore the.
Black dudes are harmless.
Hold on. Hold
Well, I don't
on.
think anyone's
hold on.
harmless.
Why it's more dangerous? Yeah, of course.
But
All
like-
the
Wait, can I
psychos
ask you a question?
also
A
kill
couple
them,
things.
so
Okay,
why?
so if we were to,
I'm scared.
if someone was to say, I would feel more comfortable in a room with a white person over a black person, would that be a racist statement?
Unfortunately,
Yes.
yeah.
You can't use the argument though about because there's a whole history behind that.
Yeah.
Wait,
So what?
What do you mean?
What do you mean so what?
Well, let's assume.
I mean, the white man has always been the oppressor, regardless.
boy.
Sure. Well, I'm just gonna grant
I
it.
want to have this conversation.
Like I'm literally just gonna grant it. In fact, we'll just pretend that that black men and women were freed only yesterday, 24 hours ago. Okay, they've only 24 hours they've had their freedom. Okay, how would this statement in any way make sense to say, I would feel more comfortable in a room with a black man versus a white man, or a white man versus a black man? How is that not a preconceived notion still based around race?
Can you condense that question again?
How is it not a preconceived notion still based around race to say I would feel more comfortable around this racial group than this one? How's that not
I think it's a racial notion, but I just think because my belief that you can't be racist against a white person.
Yeah, I know that
then
that's
it
your
leads
belief.
To,
But what is it founded on? I just granted that it was just yesterday.
it's
Just
founded
this
on
only
history.
happened
Yeah,
yesterday.
I mean, that makes it even more valid. I
Sure,
think.
sure. But what's the validity, though, of saying I have a preconceived notion about a racial group, and so therefore, based on the preconceived
don't
notion,
think
hang on, let me finish the question first.
sorry.
Based on the preconceived notion of this racial group, I select this one because I think that I'll be safer around them. But if you flip it and say, okay, but I agree with that. Just for me, it's whites. In what world would that not be racial on both ends or racist on both ends?
Maybe it is a little. Maybe
Prejudice is that?
maybe, but
Wait.
I don't think.
Hold on. Let me.
I just-
we'll pursue this, but really
I
quick,
just think
really
power
quick.
power
Hold on.
dynamics had a
Hold
lot
on.
to do with it.
Hold on, really quick though, really quick. Okay, let's remove the term racism from this, and let's talk about what you find objectionable. So, do you think if somebody would rather be in a room alone with a black person over a white person, is this an objectionable position to hold? It's your position, by the way. Is it objectionable?
Is what objectionable?
What does mean
Okay, I'm sorry. I
Hold
mean, it's a
on.
lot to. I mean, it's like
I
you're talking
just
pretty
repeat-
fast. I'm
okay.
starting
You're not
to,
that smart
lose
like
focus
you
a little
guys.
Okay,
bit.
so do you find it objectionable for somebody, and this is your position, for somebody to say, I would rather be in a room alone with a black person over a white person? Objectionable?
Yes. Wait, objectionable. I'm sorry. I'm
So
like
you object
losing
to your
my-
own
I-
position.
can you put a
What does
pause
mean
on
objectionable?
talking to me?
No.
I feel like
Hold on.
I've been on the spotlight for a bit.
Don't weasel your way out of this one, okay?
Do you think it's problematic, that position?
What position?
Just
Bro.
what your position?
I'm sorry. I'm
you
losing
said
focus, and it's hard for me to stay on
Yeah,
topic.
I understand.
I feel like I've been on the spotlight for a bit now, and I just
Well,
feel like we
We're
need to move on for a
exploring
second.
we're exploring your worldview. So, Okay, I'll repeat the question. I'll try to make it as simple as possible. Okay, so you said you would feel more comfortable with a black man over a white man.
I did say that.
You
yes.
said that. Okay. And you don't think that statement is objectionable, correct?
No, I think it is a little bit.
Okay. But then do you think it's more objectionable to say, I would rather be with a white person over a black person? Is that a more objectionable position?
If I ask you to repeat the question, you're just gonna roll your eyes, and I'm telling you,
Yeah,
I've told you
it's just
4
like,
times already. I need to we can go back to me, but I just need like a break because I can't keep focusing. I feel like my energy, my focus has been sustained, and I need to take a break. So please respect that.
Do you want a Red Bull or something? Or an energy drink? You can take a little breather if you need. Is that?
I just want to say,
Is
I'm
that
not really
quick?
sure why
Yawn.
people.
Oh, wait. Wait, are you leaving?
No, she's okay. Don't.
You can take a break if you want. That's fine. If you need a little breather on, that's fine.
Wait, what happened?
So all good. Don't pay attention.
You can
Is
be
that
racist towards anybody.
Is that
It's
cognitive
not fair to
dissonance?
say
Is that what
That's
happened there?
what that
Be
looks
racist
like.
towards
It's very
white people.
painful.
A
So
little
cognitive dissonance is always very painful for people, and that's what happens. They get very emotional. And even men,
Physical response.
even men, it becomes a very physical response when their worldview collides with reality.
If you enjoyed that clip, then don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you'd like to see another one, click right here.